Welcome into the Canuck Arcade, everybody. Today we're doing what should be a relatively easy mod, I hope. And we're going to add two more buttons to player 1 and player 2 on here. Now, the thing is there's not really enough room to just drill two more holes and throw two more buttons onto the base plate here that they already have. So we're going to need a few things to make a new one, and then we should be good to go. There isn't much involved in this, a few things that you'll need to have, but other than that, it should be, like I said, a pretty easy mod. So let's go through all the stuff that I've got to do this mod, and then we'll pop this thing up, take all the buttons out, and then I'm going to use this outside as a template. And also I want to keep the start and select buttons in the same place, and I'm not sure if I'm going to move the power button or not, but either way, I'm going to mark them out, and then we're going to reposition these buttons. I have some templates, and we will drill holes and everything, and hopefully, again, this should be pretty easy and straightforward. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, and I'll go through the stuff that we have to do this mod. Okay, so the first thing we're obviously going to need is this. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to fit this in the camera. Okay, we can. Alright, so what I did is I went down to Home Depot and I picked up a 24 inch by 24 inch at a quarter inch thickness, which is the exact same as what is already on the arcade that they use. And I think this is called press board or something like that. Anyways, it wasn't crazy expensive, at like $8 or something at Home Depot. So if I screw it up, I'm not too worried about having to go back and get another one. So you're going to need to have obviously some wood to do our templates and everything else on. We're going to need some buttons. I got a couple red and blue buttons. Now these aren't exact same buttons that are already in there, but that's okay. It's the color that counts really for me. These will work for now for what we need. Eventually I plan on doing a total button and joystick upgrade, but until then these will suffice. Obviously we're going to need some wires to connect those buttons to it. Our templates here, so this is the design that I want to go with for our joystick. So as you can see, it'll be something like that. Guess something like that, because this is bigger than what we need, and we'll be able to get two out of this as well. So if I screw up, I'll have another. So it'll be something like this. Then we'll have the 8 buttons on the arc, so it'll be good. So yes, you're gonna need some templates, buttons, wires. And like I said, I'm not going to be able to use the plexiglass, and I really didn't want to just have this wood there, because I would imagine after a while the greases from your hands are going to stand it up and everything. So what I did is I went out and I got some of this vinyl wrap. It's like a cross color fading, changing. So anyways, I figured it would be a lot better than the wood, so we'll vinyl wrap everything once we have the holes and everything in it. This should look pretty cool. Obviously this is optional. It wasn't crazy expensive. I think it was under 20 bucks on Amazon. So now as for your buttons, you can pretty much source them wherever you'd like. They're not crazy expensive. Again, I am planning on doing a total button upgrade and everything in the future. I just haven't decided what I want to switch to yet. So I wanted to do this mod anyways. I want to have those extra buttons. All right. Well, enough running my mouth. We'll get all this stuff out of here. We'll bring up the console and we'll rip it apart, because we're going to need to use that top piece as a template. So let me switch things around and we'll get going at that. Alright, so we're going to have to pull this apart, take all the buttons and everything off of it. As you can see, this isn't the one that has my Pi 5 in it. This is the one with the cracked bezel. Because we're not going to use the plexiglass, I decided we might as well use this one, and then just switch the whole top over to the arcade once I have it done and settled with. And that way, if this takes more than a day, which it really shouldn't, but it is me, so anything is possible. I can still use the arcade, but I will, when we are done and we put it on, we will put it on the actual arcade base. So with no further ado, let me start peeling this thing apart. We'll get inside and get all the wires unditted and disconnect all the buttons, and the joysticks will have to come out, and you guys will be able to see how everything, if you haven't been curious enough to open your own up, you'll be able to see how everything's set up inside and where everything goes. Come here, you. Alright, so we'll open this up, we'll go over everything, and then we'll see where we are from there. I do plan on eventually getting a piece of plexiglass for the top here. I just don't have any available. I'll have to find someone to cut it. I don't know if I can use the same tools or not on plexiglass as I can with the wood, but either way. Alright, so if you haven't watched my upgrade video, let me slide this back like that, then you're probably not very familiar with the inside here, but this is your Pi 4, or if you've upgraded a Pi 5, but you would know about that. This must have come unplugged. This is for the fan in here. Anyways, so these are our boards right here. So all we're going to do is we're going to disconnect everything from the boards, and then we are going to leave the wires on the actual buttons and just take the buttons out, because everything is color coded here, and all we're doing is we're going to add, there's like a, I'll show you on the board once we get out, but we're just going to add 2 buttons to what's already on the board. All right, easy now. Don't want to break anything. All right, come on, out you come. Let's go. There we go. 2 more. Looks like they used like double-sided tape or something to adhese these. Let me actually just do it that way. There we go. Yeah, to stick it to the board. There are 2 screws in it as well, but not. I'm wondering if they use the adhesive not just to stick it, but to raise it up off the board. So there we go. We got that all undid. There's our board. Now there is space for 2 more. And I don't know if I can just throw these on, because I do have a couple connectors. Well, I have a lot. I have a case of them here. But these should here go right on the board. And if so, I can add another 2 buttons if that's all it needs, if the chip will just read it. But I don't know. I won't know. I'll have to do a little research, because if so, I would like to add 2 more buttons again on the sides here, and I'll even drill holes to the arcade so I can have paddle buttons on the side. But we'll get to that in a different video. Let's stick to where we're at now. So ideally here, I don't want to unplug any of the wires from any of the buttons. There's no need to. So we'll just keep unplugging everything. Come on. Ow. Whoa! Did that really just happen? Is everyone still okay? You alright out there in TV land? Alright. I have a bit of a new setup for my camera. Ooh, I can't believe that just happened. How dramatic. Don't tell me my videos aren't exciting. Okay. So, no going back now, is there? Let's just keep going. So anyways, it must have slid when I was pulling on this on the table, because it's shaking the table quite a bit. That's loose. That's really loose. All right, so let's get the rest of these out without knocking off our camera again. I apologize for that, but hey, a little bit of excitement and another there we go. Boring video. Okay, so that's pretty much the hard part. Let's see if I can pull 1 or 2 of these out to get the rest out. All right, come on. Really don't need the zip tie. I'll put new zip ties and everything on once we get it all in. So now when we're putting this all back on, and I'll probably mention it again then, but the only thing we really need to worry about is making sure that all the buttons are exact same here and here. Obviously they've color coded it, so when it comes to the 2 buttons, the white ones, which are the ones we're going to add, we just have to make sure that they're in the exact same top, bottom, left, right, top, bottom, left, right, and then everything should read just fine. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the wires off, what we want to do is just loosen. Oh, that one's really tight. Should be able to do this by hand, but apparently I might have to go and actually grab a tool. Well, we'll do this one because it's like really loose. which is this is the one I play with. So another thing we're going to have to make sure we have clearance for, as you can see, is the wire coming off of here. It looks like it shouldn't be an issue. So now once you get this kind of screwed out, the button will fall right through and come out the other side. So let me get that. Come on. There we go. Fell right through, and then I should be able to just pull it through like that. And there's one done. So as you can see, their button is a lot different. Their switch is up inside of it. These ones are little tiny switches inside of it. They're very, very much smaller. But they'll do the job for now until I get a complete set. Okay, so basically all we're going to do is do that over and over and over again until all the buttons are out, and then we'll take out the controllers. So what I will do is use the magic of video, and we will jump ahead to that part. I'll see you in a couple seconds. Alright, so we got all the buttons out, and the power button is out. Now we have our joysticks. Now, a lot of people don't know this, so I'll tell you. And if ooh, that's already starting to slide. Okay. If you have a console or whatever, it's a little hard to do it this way because obviously it's inside. But to take these balls off, what you really want to do is grab a screwdriver. You put the screwdriver in the back here. I don't have one handy. Let me grab a screwdriver 1 second here. All right, so you grab your flathead screwdriver and you just put it in and just use it like you would. And that's how you get the knobs off. A lot of people don't know this, and usually it's because they are on the inside and it's not very accessible. But that is how you're supposed to put the knobs on and off, or at least one way, and that way you don't harm the metal pull. So, all right, let's get this other one off. So you just grab the ball in your hand and then just like you normally would with a screwdriver and screw. All right, so it looks like that plexiglass plate is about to fall off here. So let me get this ball off, and then we'll remove it, and we can take the rest of the stuff off the board. Okay. Now, is this just a piece of paper, or is it vinyl printed on? No, it's just a piece of paper, eh? Huh, look at that. Okay, well, that's cool. You can, pretty much do whatever you want, really, with this. But, don't be knocking stuff again, man. We'll have another freaking spill. We don't need none of that. Anyways, so this can be yeet. Get rid of that. We'll use that as a template for our start and select buttons, and probably the power. All right, so let's get these off, which is pretty easy, and take the USB controller boards off, and we should be good to go. I don't need this. All right, let me grab a different. What will fit? Will you fit? You should fit. Do you fit? Yeah, just. Okay, let's get these off. Now they put like, wrong way. They put like every screw in here they could by the looks of it. But you definitely don't want these going anywhere. And it looks like these are more than capable of going through this wood. So, a little tricky one here. Ideally, I don't want to have to rewire anything, although the ground just loops around, so it's not a big deal. But try to keep these all together so I don't lose them. Alright, so we'll take this one off, and then we'll take the controller off, and then I'll use the power of video for the rest. And then we'll be able to use the template. Now, I did have to open up the Raspberry Pi 4 case to get the power cord out. I didn't record that, but of course the power cord goes directly into it. So, and now, ta-da, so there it is. That's our controller there. Nothing crazy. Like I said, I do plan on in the future getting some upgrade stuff. But as for right now, this stuff has worked so far so good, so I'm going to stick with it. It looks like they didn't even peel the protective layer off. Yeah, see? As you can, I don't know if you can or cannot see that on camera here, but they didn't even peel the protective layer off the metal. Anyways, all right, so let's get this controller board off, which is really kind of stuck down. And we're going to have to put these in different places on the new setup. I'm going to imagine. Okay, so it's just again? Seriously? All right, I'm going to have to do something about this. This is not, whew, I'm going to hurt myself. Everyone okay? You're all right out there? I know, that's twice. All right, are we good? Bro. All right, so let me, okay, I think we're good. Just need to take one more screw off. Whew, my goodness, I'm breaking everything this video. It's a hardcore one, action-packed. Okay, that should do it. Oh, a little bit more. All right, so yeah, it looks like they just put this on like a gapper. Yeah, but we might have to put these in a different place depending on where everything is. But there it is. If I can just put two more on, I'm definitely going to, so I can get some paddle action going like it was on an arcade. But there it is. I like how they color coded everything. They probably do it for their own sake, so that they can easily just plug in everything into the same spot every time. But anyways, there it is. There's that. Let me put this aside, and then we'll do the whole magic of video, and we'll get the rest of this off. All right, so here it is, all taken apart. This is the top side, this is the bottom side. It looks like, as you can see, they have everything pre-drilled in here, which is pretty, I mean, it looks like they have their manufacturing down pretty easy. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. It's really good. But we're gonna use this. This is the wrong side. We want to flip. Oh my god! I'm gonna knock us over again. Wow, this is the most exciting stream yet to date. Watch out, folks. So, anyways, this is the top side, and we're going to use just the outside as a template, also for these holes here and these two start select buttons. So if we take we'll take our templates here just to use this as you can see, there is more than enough room for the button scheme. You can see that there's the holes. We're not off the bottom. Where are we? We can even line up, I think, almost with that hole, and then yeah. So, I mean, I think that's going to work out really well. Well, it's not perfectly even, but you get the idea. So, there's more than enough room for the buttons. It doesn't look like there's any overlapping anywhere. As you can see, the hole is there. So, yeah, I think this is going to work out really well as a button layout. And I like the arced button layout. As you can see, your whole hand kind of spans everything, so it's really good. And the distance is a little bit further apart, which I like, from the buttons, which I was kind of worried about, but it looks like no worries at all. Yeah, that's great. All right, so our templates are going to fit very well. Excellent. Now, what we want to do is grab that other piece of wood, and then we'll use this as a template to cut out the right size. So let me grab this. And then what we're going to do is just kind of square it up to the corner and this side up, just like so. And as you can see, we're going to be able to get at least, yeah, well, definitely two, not three, but we'll get two out of this. So if I screw up, we should be good, hopefully. So yeah, so I'll just get a pencil. We'll mark out the outline. And then I can figure out a way to cut it. All right, we got my trusty pencil here. We feel squared up everywhere. So that and that. All right, so should be able to get to cutting, and as long as I don't screw this up too bad, we should be good to go. Once I have it cut out, then we'll be able to remark these holes, and then we'll put the templates on. And then I can fix that. All right, so I'm going to go to the garage and cut this bad boy, hopefully. Not screw it up, and hopefully we'll be back with a piece of sheet that is the right size that we can put our template on. All right, here's hoping I don't screw this one up. All right, so I went and cut out a piece and screwed it up, but not bad enough that it can't be used, so we're going to use it anyways. And then we have our top piece here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring this over to the arcade and slide this in to make sure it's all squared up, and then I'm going to put this on top of it, and then I'm going to mark out my 4 holes. And I still need to decide if we're going to keep these 4 buttons in their exact same place, or if we're going to move them up or down. Now it looks like, if I just move this out the way, it looks like we should be good. Just feeling, because I want to have some wood under the palm to rest on. I don't want my hand hanging off the arcade, and I don't want it hanging off the edge either. So that appears to be a pretty good, and if I look, that's where the hole is, and I got about that much from the bottom. So I mean, I think this will be good. I think the start select, where's the selects? Right here. Yeah, the select is right here. So I think this should work pretty good. And if we line this up, I'll probably have to tape this down and then use a ruler to make sure that the center line is center on both of them, and then tape it down. But right now I'm just trying to eyeball it a bit to figure out where the second one's going to be. Yeah, I think leaving that selects right up there. Yeah, I think leaving the select and start should be fine where they are. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the arcade. I'm just going to slide this on and then put this on top and mark out my holes, and we'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, I don't know, maybe it's not coming up on camera there. Yeah, as you can see, I've marked my corners there, and the start select, and I also did do left the power button in the same spot. So as you can tell, I kind of screwed up right here, as you can see, but that's going to be the top edge, and it's going to be covered in vinyl. Once it's pinched up, I think it will do the job. I will get another one eventually and redo it again, but I think this will do the job for now. So, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. Even if I didn't do it very well, you can still probably do it and do it better. So, but as you can see, I just lined them all up and then put it on the arcade. I did the 4 corners, and then I did the circles. So we should be good for those. Then I just need to, we'll grab our template, a little bit of tape. We'll figure out where exactly we want those, make sure everything's lined up, and then I will drill and come back. So let's get the template set up. Give me a second, we'll do that. Okay, so I kind of jumped ahead a bit, and I got this first one put on. So what I did was, once I had it where I kind of wanted it to be on the board, I then just used a ruler. It's pink, I know, it's my kids. I couldn't find another one. And I went off the center button. I squared it up to the edge, so it's going to be as square as it can be. And then I just had the center line, make sure it go down. Then I taped it down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this center line across onto this side to make sure that it's square. I'm going to square it with this corner and have it go straight across to make sure that these ones line up. So it should be pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to line that up like that. Then I want to adjust this so that it's straight on that line, right? That's squared. And that is square like that. All right, now you, and again, this doesn't have to be super perfect. But, just screwed it up. All right, try this one more time here. Got that down. Then just slide you to about there. And that looks pretty square. All right, so now we should be pretty bang on. Let's just, not quite. Let's try that. There, and let's pull it back down. And not bad. I mean, it's probably not the most scientific way to do it, but I think it'll work for our purposes. All right, so I'm just gonna Scotch tape this down here. If my Scotch tape cuts. All right, like that. And put another one on the corner and one on the side, and then I can mark and drill these holes out. So hopefully I don't screw this up too much. I'm gonna do a practice on the other piece first to make sure we can do this all without having any incident. I think I should be fine. All right. Give me 1 second here. Let me grab the tool we're going to use for this, and I'll show you what I'm using, and then we'll get it done. Give me 1 second. All right, so I have one of these. I think it's a 1.5 inch. I don't know if that shows up on camera or not, but that is what we need. So what I'll probably end up doing is marking every one of these holes in the garage first before I drill, in case when I do drill it just destroys the print. That way I still know where all my holes are. So I'll just like do that on each one, and then oops, should be able to actually, let me do that one here so we can see it maybe. But if I do that, that should give me, yeah, I don't know if that comes up in camera, but there is a small hole there, and then I can mark it with a pen afterwards. So that's it. I'm just going to drill out all these holes, drill out these. I'm not sure if I have anything big enough for this. I'll figure it out though. Drill out the power button, and then we should be ready to start putting buttons on. So let me go get these holes dealt with, and then we'll come back and start adding buttons and the USB controllers and joysticks. All right. And voila, we are done. That wasn't too bad. It worked out pretty well. I just put a piece of wood behind it, drilled through, started off at the ends, worked my way through, and turned out pretty good, I hope. So now I guess the thing is to grab the base and throw it on top and see if it at least fits. So let's try that. Give me 1 second to grab the base. All right, so here's our base. We'll grab this and pop it on. It looks like the holes line up, but moment to truth. Let's throw these all in and see if I massively screwed up or not. All right, I think we're good though. It looks pretty darn on. Yeah, looks like our screws are good. So that's a good sign. I didn't have anything big enough for here. I might have to re-drill this again. But other than that, yeah, it looks pretty good. So the next thing we need to do is vinyl this before we start putting stuff into it. But before I do that, I just want to test these holes to make sure everything fits good. But those clamping in are good signs, because I'm not going to put all the buttons in and then take them all off in vinyl. So all right, we got our base, we got a button, doesn't really matter which one or where it goes right now. Oh yeah, that slides in there just nice. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. There we go, slides in there. Put our, just a test, and voila, there we go. I think this is gonna work great. Fucking, I just turned into Tony the Tiger. Sorry about that. But it's good. So, next thing to do is to vinyl the top. Let's just grab one of these. We're going to have to mark these out as well, which shouldn't be too hard. We'll just flip that, and then going to make sure we get the right side up. Doesn't really matter that much, but and then we'll just plop them on and screw them in. I don't even think we'll really have to mark them. I might go get a punch just to push the hole in a little bit more, but I might where's the board? Where are we going to put these? Let me turn this, I guess, up here. Right? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we get everything in, but we got to get the vinyl on. So let's get ready for that. Okay, before we vinyl, I did make a mistake. And I'm going to tell you this now so that you don't make the same mistake. When I was measuring where I wanted to put this, I wasn't thinking, and I measured just to this edge. I was going by this width. When, as you can see, there's like a plastic hub here or something that sticks out from that edge. So the problem is that when you put it in, see how I left, like, you know, a sliver right there, right? There's a sliver, which is what I wanted, but this here just sticks out even if I push it all the way over. So the options are to make this hole bigger, which I'm not going to do, or cut this little edge off, which is what I'm going to do, which sucks. But so make sure you're taking into account this little lip here when you're pushing it over to the edge, when you're positioning your buttons. So learn from my mistakes. All right. Next step, I got to cut this off, but we're going to vinyl this first. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead, I went out and I took the Dremel to this. I wanted to make sure this hole was big enough, not just for the button, but there's going to be some vinyl down the edges of it. So I wanted to make sure the button was going to for sure fit through, because I don't want to be drilling once there's vinyl on there. I was planning on trying to heat this vinyl up, but if I do that, I won't be able to record this because there's not enough power and I don't have any other plugs available. So hopefully we don't need to heat anything up. I wanted to heat it up and kind of stretch it around the edges, but we'll see how it lies, and maybe we can get away with not having to do that. Ooh, that's very, very, I don't know if that picks up, but whew. Yeah, and depending which way the light hits it, it's purpley greeny. I removed the sticker, and that's how I discovered that I couldn't use my heat gun at the same time as having lights on and everything. So either I record in the dark and heat it up, or if it needs to be heated up, I do it off camera. Or, wow, this stuff is wild. You seen this? Yeah. All right, so let's see here. Now we have enough to definitely screw up multiple times. Is that something on there? I don't know if it picks up or if it's just the angle I'm on, but looks like there's something there. So yeah, that's basically it. We'll cut it, and then once it's on, we'll cut the holes. But I think that's going to look pretty badass. And we'll fold it around the edges and underneath. So first things first, there's already some bubble. Ooh, there's going to be, it's very stiff. The last vinyl I used was not this thick. This is like really thick. I don't know how, if that probably doesn't pick up on camera how. But this is, it should be durable, so that's good. That's good. It should be durable. So I want a little bit of lip on each side. I don't want to turn it over and scuff it or anything. It looks like there's already a scuff on it. It looks like it's scratching. That kind of sucks, but whatever. It is what it is. We'll tully on and see. But did look like I scuffed it right there. I don't know if that can come up on camera, but if it scuffs, then it scuffs because it's going to be used a lot. So, all right, well, I think cutting it about this distance should work, and that should give us enough lead off of all sides. Where are we on? Yeah, we want to be up way more. Put some there. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's cut this as best as we can. What is going to be the best way to cut this? Ruler. fold over the ruler. Right, maybe. I mean, it doesn't have to. We don't have to be square here. I'm hoping I'm not damaging the vinyl or anything, but let's see if this works. Extend this out a bit. This is probably a 2-man job or something, but you know. Well, that's cutting nice, so that's a good sign. And it rolls. Okay, cool. So I'll put this aside for now. And then, now I'm not sure. I mean, I think this is supposed to be like this is actually like car vinyl. But I don't think it should matter. What's that there? Oh, there's a protective coating on the top of it. Oh, look at this. I got fancier stuff than I even know I had. All right, so I guess I want to keep it on here for now. So I'm up off the ground. And I guess we'll just peel off a chunk, lay it, and then just stretch it out and slowly lay it down. I just got to make sure I have enough on each end. All right, well, let's YOLO and see what happens. It's either going to work or it's not, and we'll have a big mess, but now I'm never going to get this off, right? Come on, you can do it. There it is. Ooh. All right. Now, the trick used to be is you never unwrap the whole thing. You just unwrap the parts you need, and then you slowly pull this and move along like so. Slowly. And this is ideally, you're not going to get any air bubbles or creases or anything, and you can see the holes starting to. So we'll have to use an X-Acto knife or something to cut those holes. But I was planning on heating it up and then like pulling. Oh, is that an air bubble? Oh, that's the holes. Drill holes. I'm pulling it around the edges and underneath, so it kind of like molds onto the corner. But I don't know if I can do that and record it. So we'll see how this turns out. But it looks pretty cool so far. Seems to be going on pretty nice as well. I slid that. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I might have to heat it up off camera and mold it. But I think it's on there. I think it's stuck, and I don't see any air bubbles. That looks... I don't know about you guys, but I guess you can see the buttons a bit too. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. I dig it. So, okay. The rest of this off. All right. Now, I'm going to pause for a minute and see what I can do here, and then I'll come right back and we'll figure out what we're going to do for the next step, if I'm going to have to heat it up or not. All right, give me 1 second here to figure this out. Okay, so what I decided to do, because I couldn't use my air gun, is blow dryer. It's not quite as powerful or as hot, which is fine, but it's warm enough to do what I needed to do. So I just pretty much heated it up, stretched it around. That's all I'm going to do. The bottom here is heat it up, stretch it over. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's going to be really loud. But yeah, I'm going to do that and then cut off the ends and fold them in. It doesn't matter these edges as much, if they're covered or not. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just the front and the back really that I care about. So let me do that. We'll fold it over and then we can see what it looks like on the other side before I cut the holes. Okay, that apparently did the job. I have to cut off the access on the ends here, but other than that, it seems to be pretty okay. There's a couple spots where I was a little handy with it. a little hands-on-ish, and they don't really want to stick as much anymore, so I'm not sure if I might put some adhesive, but once it's clamped down, that shouldn't matter. So I guess the next step is to cut off this access, and then I guess we'll see about cutting holes. So give me a second to figure this next step out. It should be as easy as using the X-Acto knife, but I don't want it to cut off extra, so I don't know. We can try. Let's see what happens. Screw it. Let's YOLO it. Well, that cut actually really nice. So has a nice job here. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Now, how to do this? Should I fold it over? I don't know if it'll stick. I've been pretty handsy with these ends. The adhesive might not want to hang on, but is that the thing to do? Like this? And then cut off these ends maybe. All right, let's try this out. We're learning. I don't know. I think that turned out pretty okay. And then we'll just cut this end off here. Again, these corners are going to be covered, so as long as the front and sides look okay, this might just work. All right, can I separate this one here? This is really big. I don't think... Yeah, that's like really long. Wonder if I should have maybe heated this. Might be clumping over that. Yeah, that work? Maybe. Oh crap, my off camera, sorry. I'm definitely gonna have some wonkiness over here, but that's okay on the backside. I don't know, what do you guys think? I think that that might do. Just cut these tabs off and we should be good. Huh. Yeah. Can hardly tell now that I really screwed up the one edge. It should look pretty good once it's in there. So, all right, let me cut these tabs off and we'll get into doing the rest. What's going to be the easiest way to do this, though? Indeed. I don't need that. Just like that. Did that? All right, I'm gonna pause and cut these off the edge of the table, which I can't get on camera. So give me 1 second. Let me cut these tips off. All right, I think that worked. Got those tips off, edges off. It doesn't look too bad. Underneath doesn't matter. It doesn't matter underneath. It's all about here, and that's not bad. I mean, first time, so probably could have done better if I did it 3 or 4 more times. But hey, I think it looks pretty good. And there is a protective layer on here that still needs to be peeled off. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that now. But who knows? I didn't get any instructions. Maybe I need to pull off the protective layer even before I put it on. Who knows? Maybe it isn't a protective layer and I just separated it. We will find out. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to cut these out, which should be pretty easy. We should just be able to take our little blade here and just make a little score, make an X like that on each one, and then be able to fold it in. So let's see if this works out for us here. Just a little hole like that. And come on. We should be able to do it from here. Okay, so now just like that. Make sure we're touching our edge all the way to the wood here. It doesn't matter too much if we mess up a little bit and cut over the edge of the outside of the hole, because that will all be covered by the edge of the button anyway. So, all right. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now we should be able to fold these in. And where's a button? Let me grab a button. Here we go. And just thread that through. And then the button should be a little tight. Yep, there we go. Oh, I like. I have to, yeah, I think that will do. All right. I guess I got to do that a bunch more times, and I still need to sort out, get that out of there for now. I do need to still sort out the one controller, but that's how we do that. It's pretty easy. I mean, I guess we could cut these off if we wanted to, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So, I'm going to cut all the holes and everything, fix the controller, and when we come back, I'll probably have most of the buttons and everything put in, and then we can figure out where the boards are going to go, and yeah, be able to try it out and see if I screwed anything up severely. All right, so I'll be back in a minute once I have all that dealt with. Okay, we are back, and for those of you that have a keen eye, you may notice things are a little bit different. I messed up the first board, so good times there, and I had to re-drill it. I did notice, and I did mention earlier on, that I might have to trim the edge of player one's joystick to make it fit. But once I got everything in, it still would not line up and allow me to put the lid on properly. So I had to redo the board, which was really actually easy the second time around. So redid it, revinyled, and put in all the buttons, mounted the joysticks. We did everything, and then I wanted to test it, which I'm glad I did, because the two spots on the board, which are L and R2 buttons, they don't work. I plugged them in and everything, no bueno, no button action. Everything else worked fine except for those two. So that meant I had to get new boards. So if you are planning on doing this, then you're definitely going to have to get new boards. I'll put a link in the description to the ones that I've got. They work really well by the looks of it. They plugged in. So I did test this just to make sure the buttons worked. And that means the only things we need to do now is I need to mount these. They're sitting loose, trim up this, and got new tops for my joysticks here. We need to put those on, and then this will be done. I know it's been a long video, but I'll tell you, it's been longer for me. That's okay, though. At the end of the day, I'm glad, really, that I got these, even though I would have preferred to not have to spend money. But this gives me my two other buttons. So I will eventually be able to, I haven't figured out how exactly I'm going to pull it off, but mount two buttons on the outside of the arcade so that I can play pinball games. But that's something later on down the line that I'll figure out, and we have them here. So it's a little bit different. They've got longer cords on them. I've already went and grabbed my Pi 5 upgraded one. So they have a little bit longer cords, so I just kind of zip tied them up. They sit in here just fine. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same, just different controller boards and different wires plugging in. So I'm going to use my super amazing Velcro that we used in the upgrade for the Pi 5 in the arcade. I'm just going to mount these down. We're going to throw on the balls. I guess they're not really balls now, but the tops for our joysticks. Button it up and plug it in, and we should be good to go. So let me Velcro this up, and then we'll go and plug it in. All right, I got those all Velcroed down on there, and as you can see, the USB cords, which are a little bit different. You can do a 5, but a 5-pin does not come with the original board. It's a 4-pin, so you have to use the USBs that come with them, which is fine. They plug in, they're easy to get in and out. So we should be good to go with that. All right, so let's put our top balls on and put our plate on here. Yep, that's the right way. Get this on. Let me grab my screwdriver. And once these are on, we should be able to button it up and plug it into the arcade, and we'll be good to go. I will say I'm really liking the look of this. Oh, that's not the right way. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the look of this vinyl. Although I think from the angle you guys are all right there, you can see like that's almost the exact same purple as the arcade. When it's like that, obviously it's not. But when you're walking up or standing away from the arcade, looking at it from a distance, it looks the exact same purple. It's quite the neat effect. I wasn't sure how it was gonna turn out or if it would match the arcade or not, but it really does, and I'm glad. So, all right, that's that. Okay, so we got all that. Let me just we're gonna pause. I'm gonna trim all this up and seal it up, and then we can switch over to the arcade. Now we got it all buttoned up, sealed up. You guys can take a look at what it looks like with the 8 buttons. I didn't find that there was much difference in space standing beside someone. I still felt it extremely comfortable even with the extra buttons. So yeah, it looked good. I have gotten some fingerprints on here a bit, but it wipes off pretty well. So, and I don't know if we can get those color changing going on it, or if it's a distance thing, but man, it does look very, very cool. There we go. There, she's purple. Yeah, that's neat. There, some blue. Anyways, all right, so that's that. We got it all together. I will plug it into the arcade, and button map is all done, so we are good to go. Well, it looks good. It plays good. I'm very happy with the end result. I definitely learned a lot through this. I hope you did as well. So, on that note, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you come back next time. Good day. Eh?